Afternoon, everybody. Today, we were supposed to be coming to you from outside. It was a beautiful summer day here in the Cleveland area, but Mother Nature decided we needed a thunderstorm, so I'm in the house. So today what we're going to be talking about is something that we've already covered briefly, and it's one of the most talked about what-ifs or speculative moments of the Battle of Gettysburg, especially with that coming up on yet another anniversary of that tremendous and decisive and impacting battle in our nation's history. Now, we look at July the 1st, 1863. The Confederate Army is converging on the town of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. Now, Lee looks at the hill in front of him that the Union Army is in control of, called the Cemetery Hill, and he issues orders to Ewell to take that hill if practical. Now, that's a loose-ended order. Ewell gets a lot of flack for not taking that hill. Let's look a little closer at it, and I'm also going to invite your comments and your thoughts to see what you guys think on this too, because I don't like speaking in absolutes, so I'm welcoming all points of view as long as you keep it respectful. Now, look at the bigger picture that day. Okay, Heath's division charged in quickly without seeing what was in front of them. The thing is, Stuart was still nowhere to be found. Nobody knew where Jeb Stuart was. The Union Army was there in front of them, and the Confederate Army had no idea what was in front of them. They couldn't tell outside of what was physically right in their face, because part of the Archer's brigade charged in, got chewed up and spat right back out, with General Archer being taken prisoner. That's the level of oops there was with that particular situation charging him. Later on in the day, you got Ewell's corps coming from the north. You have General Rhodes's division. Rhodes goes charging in too, looking for his fame and glory. He goes in there, runs straight into entrenched Union positions. I think the estimates are that Rhodes's division suffered upwards of 50% casualties. And so, by the time Ewell gets that order to press on toward taking that hill, let's look at it this way. Rhodes's division was spread all throughout Gettysburg. It was a mess. Half the guys couldn't find their units. There was no way that Rhodes's division of Ewell's corps could have been organized to make that hit on that hill. Whereas General Early, he came down and he was holding the extreme left of the Confederate line. Early was a brilliant division commander. He handled everything masterfully. He was doing very well. But he was also holding the extreme left. Ewell's 3rd Division, General Johnson, hadn't even taken the field yet and would not be there till after dark. Now, he gets this order from Lee to take that hill if practical. And also because the reconnaissance is so up in the air, the reports coming in on the enemy position, Ewell receives a report. Now, this is information I didn't have the first time around, and it really bothers me that this information was not common knowledge, at least not to me. Ewell received information that supposedly coming up the Hanover Road on his left, on his flank, there was at least a division of Union infantry coming up on his flank. That proved to be false, of course. But in that moment, you're Ewell. You were told to take that hill if practical. You only have one working division in your area, and you're holding the extreme left of the line. And then you hear that another Union group is coming right on your side. What would have happened, hypothetically speaking, had that report been accurate? And he took the initiative, and he got up that hill and decided to take that hill just to get flanked by Union infantry and have the whole line be rolled and the day be done. So that was the dilemma that Richard Scott Ewell was faced with. Nobody knew exactly what was going on, where everything was going, and Ewell only had 1/3 of his corps. And Early's division had done Porky Pig syndrome had done a tremendous amount of fighting that day. So Early's division was pretty much spent by that point. Yeah, they could have probably pushed on a little bit further, but in the absence of not knowing what was on the other side of those hills, it really was not safe to do so. So now I'm going to open this up for you guys. What do you think on that? Was Ewell made a scapegoat for a situation where he really didn't have control over matters? Because with the gift of hindsight, yeah, everyone knows Ewell should have gone forward and taken the hill. Everyone sees that. But in that moment, with the information he had, if you're in that position, what do? Do you risk, your command, your men, the whole state of the army? Because if worst case scenario came to pass with him, and that there were Yankee infantry on his flank when he was making that, if he was making that attack, he'd be remembered for many different reasons now. So I'm going to get your thoughts on that. So there you go.